I am obsessed with Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee, and it is 99 cents, any size, from 3 to 6. And I just got a Dunkin' Donuts in the town that I work in, and I'm just like, so good. Hi friends, how are you doing today? My name is Mary, and this is Happily Ever Esch. So today I would like to share my spring TBR with you guys. I am absolutely horrible at putting together TBRs or sticking to my planned reading. It just absolutely never happens for me. I've even talked in some older videos that I've made, you know, I want to read these 4 books in February, and I think I read one of those books. So I'm not good with planning a TBR and sticking to it, but I do like to have general goals. I would like to get to these books in the next couple months, and that takes a little bit of the pressure off, and I can kind of pick things up at my will, and if I'm not feeling it, I can kind of push it off a little bit and make it work a little better for me. So these are some of the books that I would like to get to in spring. We'll see if that actually happens, but goals, right? Goals. They're good. I've kind of broken this up into categories. I've got some YA I would like to get to, some just kind of general fiction. I have some like mystery crime that I would like to get to, and then classics. So I guess we'll start off with the YA. The first one I would like to get to is Uprooted, excuse me, by Naomi Novak. This is a fantasy story set in kind of like this magical land, and there's this dragon. He protects the forest, and for his services to protect this forest land, every 10 years he takes a girl and kind of holds her captive. And I don't know if it's good or bad. I haven't gotten that far, but I have started reading this today, and I really liked the first bit of it so far, and I'm excited to continue on with this story. The next YA I would like to read in the spring is The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutowski. This is fantasy. We've got a strong female heroine. She's a princess. No, she's not a princess. She's a general's daughter. She somehow befriends or falls in love potentially with a slave. I don't know, but I hear good things, and not just from people who read YA. I know I've heard others say that they enjoyed this series. I got it really cheap off Book Outlet, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I need to get to it. And then the last YA I have planned for this spring is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. This is a dark fantasy following 3 triplets who are fighting to the death to decide who will be the true queen. And if that doesn't sound intriguing, I don't know what does. So I'm excited to get to this one. Next, we have some more general fiction. The first one being The Blue Girl by Lori Foos. This is a magical realism story about a girl who can taste emotions, or can taste secrets, I'm sorry. The taste emotions is the particular sadness of lemon cake. These both kind of seem to have a similar vibe. And I really did enjoy the particular sadness of lemon cake. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked the writing style and kind of the magical realism elements in that story. So I am looking forward to getting to this one, and from the sounds of this, I think I will like it a little better. So yeah, and it's the tagline kind of is mothers who bake their secrets into moon pies and they feed it to the blue girl. I don't know, it just sounds very ethereal and magical, and once I read it, I'll have more things to say about it, but I'm excited to get to this one as well. Next up, I would really like to get to Bitter Greens by Kate Forsyth. This is a Rapunzel retelling. Rapunzel is one of my favorite fairy tales. I loved the story as a child. I loved the movie Tangled, and I'm really excited to get to Kate Forsyth's retelling. I don't know a lot about this, and I am totally fine with that. I just know that Elena over at Elena Reads Books really enjoyed this, gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and she reads so many interesting things that I really trust her opinion, and I am excited to get to this story as well. So my next section is crime and thrillers. The first one being The Cruelest Month by Louise Penny. This is the book I am most excited to get to in springtime. I have been patiently waiting for April so I can read this book because it is set in April, and the first two in Louise Penny's Armand Gamache series, the first being Still Life, and it was set in like the fall time, and then the second, Fatal Grace, was set in the winter time, and I read them in their respective seasons, so I really want to keep doing that. But I am so excited. These are really good crime stories following Armand Gamache, who is the detective. He is a wonderful character, but mostly I'm in it for Three Pines. I love Three Pines. It is a fictional Canadian village where Louise Penny stories are set, and I love these. Like, I get so many warm fuzzies thinking about these books, and I'm so excited to get to this. My next crime thriller book is The Nightsister by Jennifer McMahon. This is set in Vermont about a mysterious and kind of abandoned hotel that three sisters or friends had played in as a child, and something happens. No one really knows what happened. So now Amy stands accused of committing a horrific crime, and the only hint as to her motives is a hasty message that forces Piper and Margaret to revisit the motel's past and the fate of two sisters who lived there in its heyday. So I am very excited to read something by Jennifer McMahon. I wanted to pick up The Winter People sometime in the winter, but it never got cold enough, and I am so, like, I need that atmosphere to match up. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up, and it just sounds so intriguing, and I'm so ready to be a little freaked out, hopefully. So my last little section of books are classics. I have two that I would like to get to this spring. The first one being North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I have never read a novel by Elizabeth Gaskell. In school, I had to read some of her writings of the Bronte sisters. I think Charlotte, yeah, she mainly writes about Charlotte's life, and then the other sisters are thrown in there because they're her sisters. Anyway, I am so excited to get to this. I have seen the BC's mini series of it. I watched it in high school, and I'm a little bummed because I do not like to watch things before I read the book, but it's been a while and I don't truly remember it, and obviously this is a classic, so there's going to be so much more in-depth than a mini series could capture. But this follows Margaret Hale, and she kind of lives this idyllic life on the English countryside. I think her dad is like a preacher, and she just lives this kind of beautiful, wonderful, ethereal kind of life on the countryside, and then she moves to this like industrialized town, and it's dirty, and the people aren't treated well, like in the factory that they work in, and she's kind of like dealing with this like contrast of her like perfect, beautiful life in the countryside compared with, I think, Milton. We also have John Thornton, who runs the mill in Milton, and of course something's going to happen there, and I don't know. I'm very excited to get to this. I'm very excited to finally get to some Gaskell. Kate Howe has been talking about her a lot on her channel. She says that she is her favorite Victorian author, and Kate reads a lot of Victorian literature, so I trust her opinion. So I am very excited to get to some Gaskell very soon. And then the last classic that I hope to read this spring is Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. I never experienced this book as a child, but I am so excited to read it now, and it seems like a spring book to me. I don't know if it actually is, but it just seems like something that would read well in the springtime months. This follows Anne. I believe that she is an orphan, and yes, she goes to live on a farm. They were expecting a boy, but they got Anne, and I think it's just the story of her kind of finding her place in this family and experiencing the natural world. It sounds like it has a lot to do with just her experiences with nature and living, you know, on this farm, which I love books about nature and people's love for the outdoors. And yeah, this is just a very well-loved classic, and I really hope that I enjoy it just as much as it seems like most people do. So I am very excited to get to this one, and it is a lovely cover with like the paper cutouts. I think it's so pretty. So I'm so excited to finally experience Anne Shirley for myself. And then lastly, I have a bonus book for you guys that I will for sure be getting to in March, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I am joining in on Books and Jams read along or book club for March, and they are doing Station 11. I just found out about it and I was so excited. This has been sitting on my shelf for a while just begging to be read, and then I saw in Krista's, I think her TBR, her March TBR video, she mentioned this is their book club pick, and I was so pumped to find out that she even had a book club and that this was their selection. This is a very loved book on BookTube. But I also think it's going to be so interesting to discuss with people. It seems like it's going to have some very interesting themes to talk about, and I am just so pumped. And I must say, I've been loving Krista's channel. She is an absolute sweetheart, and I think she just reads a lot of really interesting things, and yeah, I've been enjoying her channel, so I was pumped to find out that she had a Goodreads book club, which is growing. There's a ton of people in there discussing the books that they're reading, so yeah, I'm pumped about it, and you guys should join in too. And what's really cool about the book club is she set it up so you don't have to read it. You can read it at your own pace, and you can kind of join into the conversation at your own pace. So do not be deterred if you have to like get it from your library or you can't read it till the end of the month, because you can join in too. And I will link all the information to Krista's channel and to the Goodreads group so you can join it if you would like down in the description box below. So that is all that I have planned to read this spring, and I will be proud of myself if I get to half of these, because I am such a mood reader and I'm horrible at setting TBRs for myself. But I think now that I'm like putting it out on the interwebs, maybe it will help me kind of stick to my goals a little bit. We shall see. But I would love to know what you have planned to read this spring. Do you have any books that you've been waiting? You're like, yes, I want to get to this, but it is a spring book and I have to wait for that springtime atmosphere, or do you like not care at all and you read whatever, whatever? So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys are having a great day, and I hope to talk to you guys very, very soon. Talk to y'all later. Bye.